Good morning, sixth graders. Today we are going to continue our lesson on solving multiplication equations in algebraic expressions. So the last time we met, we talked about adding and subtracting algebraic expressions to find the value of x. And we learned about isolating the x to find out. And we could use mental math to do that. And that's kind of the same thing that we're going to be doing today, but today we're going to talk about multiplication in algebraic expressions. So we are on page 194 and 195 in your instruction book. If you don't already have it, pause the video and grab it. Okay. Delia puts 2 bags of blocks on the left side of the balance. Each bag has the same number of blocks. After she adds 10 blocks to the right side, the balance beam is horizontal. How many blocks are in one bag? Well, you could use mental math to figure that out, especially since x is going to equal the same number, but twice. And the balance beam is equal to 10. So that also means that x plus x is going to equal 10. Or x times 2 is going to equal 10 based off of the information that they gave us. So the 2 bags together have a total of 10 blocks. So we have that here and we have that. So we know that because they weigh the same thing, that means this has to weigh 10 blocks as well. Whoops, went too far up. Okay, it says write an expression for the number of blocks in each pan. Then write an equation to showing the expressions are equivalent. Okay, so they went ahead and did that for us already. All right, and so we have that right there. There's our expression, 2x equals 10. Well, let's do mental math. We know that 2 times, so when it has 2x, that equals 2 times a number. And that's supposed to be a question mark, but it doesn't like when I put that at the end. Let me try it again. There we go. Okay, so 2x means 2 times a number equals 10. If you know your 2's, you know that x is going to equal 5, right? Because 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so mental math tells us that the answer x equals 5. But what we have right now is I want to show you guys the algebraic way to solve this problem because they're not always going to be simple enough for you to do mental math with, especially in your 7th grade math. Okay, so again, our problem is we need to isolate the x. We need x by itself. So that means we need to move the 2 from one side of the equal sign to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm actually going to erase what we have here. Get my eraser. Come on, erase it. Eraser. Let's try that again. Why don't you want to erase? Okay. So now we have, so 2, oh, not going to let me, huh? These are black. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write in our equation to x equals 10. So as I said before, we want to isolate x. So we need to move the 2 from one side of our equal sign to the other. So when we're multiplying, because this is 2 times x, right? 2 times a number we don't know. We're going to do the same thing we did the other day, where we're going to take the opposite, the inverse operation, okay? More math lingo here. The inverse operation. So if this tells us to multiply 2 times x, then we're going to take the opposite and we're going to divide the 2. And we're going to do the same number because when we do that, 2 divided by 2 becomes what? What does 2 divided by 2 become? 1x. And 1x is the same thing as x. Okay? Because 1 times anything is that same number. So whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other. So if I divided by 2 on this side of the equal sign, I have to divide by 2 on the other side of the equal sign. And now we can do 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So that means x equals 5. And there we go. We just solved that equation the algebraic way. Now, of course, we already know, we said that if you do mental math, you can get that. But I want you to guys know how to do it the algebraic way. Okay, let's continue on. Number 11. Look at the solve it on your previous page. What do you need to do to find the number of blocks in one bag? What do you need to do to find the number of blocks in one bag? You gotta solve the equation. What's 2x equal to 10? So let's type that in. All right, solve the equation 2x equals 10. There you go. Okay, number 12. The expression 2x is a multiplication expression. It tells you to combine 2 equal groups of x blocks each. What is the opposite of combining 2 equal groups of blocks? What's the opposite of combining? Separate, right? So we're going to type in the opposite of combining is to separate. The opposite of combining is to separate. We're going to separate the 2 equal blocks, right? So that brings us to the next question. So what operation is the inverse of multiplication? So we're looking for the inverse operation here of multiplication. What's the inverse operation? Division. So how can you isolate the variable 2x is equal to 10? Remember, we want to get x by itself. So we have to divide by 2 on both sides. So I'm going to type that in. Divide by 2 on both sides of the equal sign. Divide by 2 on both sides of the equal sign. And we divided by 2 because that's the number that's in front of the x. And when we do that, we get 1. And 1x is the same thing as just x. When you isolate the variable, what must you do to balance the equation? Got to do it to the other side. So let's put that in there. Okay, divide by 2. So actually, I'm going to be specific and say we're going to divide 10 by 2. Because that's the other side of the equal. The other side of the equal sign. Okay, now we're going to fill in the blanks based off of what we did on the previous page. So I already did the work right here. So now we're going to fill in the blanks for number 16. So it says 2x is equal to 10, so we're going to divide by 2 here. And that's going to give us 1x. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other. So we're going to divide by 2 on this side of the equal sign. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So how many blocks are in one bag? 5. So how can we check our solution? How do we check our answer to see if we're correct? We could plug 5 in for x and then solve the equation, and if it equals 10, then we know we're correct. So we're going to plug 5 in for x and multiply by 2, which equals 10. So we know we are correct. Okay? All right, let's try some problems out. Oh, we have one problem to try out. Okay, we're going to use what we've just learned to solve this problem. So we have 7x is equal to 21. So I'm going to get my pen here, and we're going to solve this together. So 7x equals 21. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you know your sevens? 7 times what number equals 21, guys? Mental math, you can do that part. I'm sure you already know the answer, right? But I'm going to show you the algebraic way. So I'm going to divide by 7 on this side to isolate the x. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. So 21 divided by 7, which is the same thing as what number times 7 equals 21. And you're going to get 3. Yep, 3 is your answer. There you go. Okay, so practice that, whether mental math or the algebraic way. Make sure you're practicing that. And you're going to do practice book page 207, 208. Let's look at our questions here to see if you're watching the video, then you'll have less to do. 207, 208. All right, remember it's all about balancing the balance. Okay, you're required to do 1 through 7. 8, 9, and 10 are optional. So 1 through 7. 8, 9, and 10 are optional. Have fun with that, you guys. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.